So what is going on, guys? It's Triple G here, back with another Tribes of Midgard video, and in today's video we're going to be going through that pesky 100 days of survival challenge, telling you exactly how easy it can be and some of the things that you should be doing to make sure that it is actually very easy. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or join us over on Twitch. We stream 5 times a week, and otherwise let's get straight into this video. So if you want to get that beautiful pet that is the final achievement in the Tribes of Midgard first season, then you are going to need to do the 100-day challenge. And if you've tried it yet, you will know that on normal mode it's actually very difficult. So there are a few tips in this video, so let's get straight into them. So the first tip is actually looking at the settings as you're first setting up your world. Now, one of the things people don't realize when they've turned up on stream is that you actually don't need to be on normal mode to do this achievement. So if you have been struggling, try turning down those settings. There is no minimum amount for this achievement, so you can turn everything on a much more easier setting to give yourselves a good chance at getting this achievement done. Two of the things that really do help are reducing the Hellthing's health, as well as giving yourself more souls and more resources. The toughest part of survival is those first few days, so giving yourself a bit of a boost on those resources can be a major factor. The next thing that I would highly recommend you do is make sure that you have horns going in. You cannot actually get any horns while you are in survival, so make sure that you have picked up some while doing some previous games in saga mode. You're probably going to want about 10 to 15, but remember that you can save and quit and go and do a few more saga modes and then jump back in. The reason why this is important is you won't be able to make any legendary gear without it, and that is absolutely essential when completing this challenge. So in my opinion, the first 10 days in survival is the most difficult. So there are a few things that you want to be looking out for and a few things that you want to prioritize that are a little different to saga mode. So the first thing that you are going to want to do is obviously get yourself the right starter kit. Now, a lot of people will go with feral gear because feral is very strong in saga mode, but I would not recommend feral in survival. I would actually just recommend the normal starter kit. So let's talk about classes. So one of the things that immediately jumped out for me was, oh well, I'll go Warden because resources are really tough in survival. However, the warrior's ability to nullify damage means that he will effectively be able to deal with the Yotans very easily. When you get to those final like 20 days, the Yotans will one-shot you no matter what armor you wear, and having the warrior to roll out and to make sure that you can't get hit by them is super effective. The Warden is obviously a good shout for its resource management, and the Seer for its temperature immunity, but you will still have to face into that challenge of the Jotun, and the pros and cons of the Warden and the Seer are completely outweighed by the fact that by the time you are at like day 80 or 90, you should have so many resources, it's pouring out of your chest. Then let's talk about the Jotans. So if you didn't know, the Jotans will scale all the way up as you are defeating them. So what you need to do here is a way of slowing them down. So each Jotun, when it dies, will spawn the next Jotun exactly 10 minutes after that Jotun died. So in order to minimize the amount of Jotans you face, what you need to do is when a Jotun spawns, go and smack it up and weaken it to the point where it'll only then take 2 or 3 hits, and then allow it to walk all the way to your village. This means that it will spend about 10 to 15 minutes if you selected a large map walking across your map, meaning that that's another 10 or 15 minutes of free time where another Jotun doesn't spawn. Then you kill it exactly outside of your gates, meaning that that timer has then started for 10 minutes and the next Jotun will spawn. This will dramatically reduce the amount of Jotans that you need to face, and as the Jotans get more powerful as they respawn in, meaning that you will face much less difficult Jotans. Once you've killed your first Jotun, there is a temptation to go out and try and get all the materials that you need in order to make that legendary. But don't worry for the first 20 days. If you've made yourself a blue Raider Axe or you've got a blue Nornia, you will be absolutely fine for a while. Don't rush this. Don't overcommit to one side. So don't overcommit on too many gates. Don't overcommit on going to try and get legendaries, and try not to lose any souls. I lost 50,000 souls in one go. I was holding 50,000 souls in one go and it hurt lots. So try not to overcommit at times, because it can cost you. Just on the subject of that, if you are finding that you have a ton of souls, go out and buy some souls potions and put them in the chest. This will mean that you can, if you do die, you have a backup that you can just drink and get yourself back to that magic number of 10,000 so that you have all your damage back. In terms of legendaries, you're actually going to want to make all the elements of the legendary weapons so that you are effective against the Yotans. But when it comes to armor, if you have got the Fenrir set already, this is highly recommended from me because it has both heat and cold protection, meaning that you can go anywhere you want later on and you don't have to worry about anything. It does cost you a horn for each bit, so remember, go in with horns or go out, get some and come back in. If not, then what you're going to need to do is make the legendary set for each resistance, so cold and for heat, so that you are able to go into those areas. One of the really good things about survival is that the enemies do respawn, so you can just go back in and hit those hideouts for those large bones if you need it, or any other area as well. But the resources on the ground don't look like they respawn for a long time. So remember, if you need vines for Fenrir stuff, you can go and buy them from the vendor in the certain biomes. All in all, guys, survival is a little bit of a chore, but if you do want that piggy, you are going to have to do it. Hopefully you found these tips useful. If you have any other tips, let me know in the comments section below. But if you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or join us over on Twitch. We stream 5 times a week, and otherwise, I'll catch you on the flip.